All right, I'm Theron Q. Ramacharaka, and I think it might be a good idea right now for a couple of million people to write down their take, their takes on what's going on in the world right now with respect to Illuminati, New World Order, uh, war on consciousness, and what kinds of things are taking place right now and what kinds of things are we are doing about it. Um, what it looks like the possible directions affairs might go in the near future here. Just kind of get a record written down and bury it. A couple of million people doing this all around the planet right now for a few reasons. And they all have to do with the future. Finding it. Finding copies of this. So that they'll know what happened. I'm not talking about prophecies and predictions, along the lines of what's been dug up in the last 100 years, or what was a lot of these things that were written hundreds of years ago or thousands of years ago in the forms of predictions and prophecies and warnings. I'm not talking about the kinds of things like Sumerian texts, whatever, where warnings were given, or recorded events that somehow maybe just got buried due to shifting sands, or civilizations that fell and then their writings were left behind or something like that, and now we have found them. I'm talking about deliberately doing this, and not in the form of predictions, but a record of current events. So that something along the lines of the truth will be available to whoever stumbles upon this stuff hundreds or thousands of years from now. For one reason is because whatever takes place right now, it's quite possible, it's quite possible that just 100 years from now, there will be no history book, there will be no written account available to the public ever that has anything to do with the truth. No published material available that has anything to do with the truth. So create it and bury it deep. Now, include several things. Put the date on it, and write in there that it was recommended at the time that it was written, right around the time that the time of the date that you write on there. It was recommended that people all over the world do this and bury this stuff. So write all of this in there, okay? Such that if one thing is found, one of them, just one person's interpretation, no matter whether it's a paragraph or a 300-page manuscript, doesn't matter. Do it to whatever extent you can, all right? That it was recommended that a lot of people do this, people who don't even know who each other is. They don't know who each other are. People all around the planet do this independently, okay? Such that if one such thing is found, there are likely more. So if one is found, write this in there. If you find this, then be aware that there are probably more somewhere hidden on the planet. And that if, a thorough investigation then turns up more and the information is somewhat consistent, among the various different findings, then if whatever was dug up probably was in a hoax. And then if some part of, let's say 3 million people do this, and each one makes 100 copies and buries them in 100 different places, and only 20 ever get found 500 years from now, and 3 of them just don't match the other 17, then those 3 were probably put there knowing that other people would be writing their interpretations of actual events going on, the way things were really going on, but put them there to mislead. So just write in the instructions there that if you find this, look for more, and then look for consistency. And that, where there's consistency, is probably, form a picture from all of it. Look for the common elements. And that's probably pretty close to what actually happened around the year 2014 and, the years leading up to it. And for 2 reasons. One of them I already said. There may be no other such record available. Oh, there will be records, but they could be completely fake. And the other reason is so that perhaps something can be learned in case things start going haywire again in the future. Or so that maybe, if things start going haywire again, a person can say, can look and say, well, look, it looks like this kind of thing happened before. Given what we found here, it looks like this kind of thing has happened before. Now, maybe where's it going and what can we do about it? Proactively, this time around. Instead of being caught by complete surprise at some time in the future over some same kind of things happening. Same old crap, different time. Get it done now, while he still can, while we still can. Make a record and bury it. Get it into a watertight container and sink it in the ocean. Get it into deep into caverns, drop them down into sinkholes, bury them in the sands of the desert. Get these things out of the reach of anybody who wants to send their militias out to get rid of such stuff next year or whatever. Do a lot of it. Spread this video around. Share it. If 5 million people watch this video within the next 6 months, and 1% of the people actually do it, there will be enough renditions of what's going on right now in hidden places, and some will actually will survive for quite a long time, untouched by anybody. And there might even be enough, for some discoverers in the distant future to piece together something. Look for consistency among them. And if you do this, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody you did it. Don't tell anybody you did it. Don't even say you did it without mentioning where you put it. Just don't even say you did it. But please do it while it's still possible. And I just have this funny feeling, that the minute I post this video on YouTube. If it hadn't been thought of already, somebody's going to get the idea that maybe they should be on the lookout for people doing this and go find this stuff, try to dig it up and get rid of it. So don't tell anybody you did it. And spread this video around fast, please.